I'm Pastor Matt, and this is the Ember Exchange. So whether we're talking about something from our church, a story from the Bible, interviewing a guest, we will do it unrushed, one puff at a time. The same is the best way to enjoy a cigar. This week, I want to call this an addendum to what we talked about in church on Sunday. This Sunday, we talked about a Bible verse from Proverbs where it says, trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not unto your own understanding, which in the original Hebrew doesn't read as two sentences as it does in the translation. It reads as one, where it says, lean not unto your own understanding, trust in the Lord. And it's the reason that is so different. When it says that we should not lean to our own understanding, that word lean means for it to act as a support, like leaning on a crutch. And so in many ways, what it's really saying is when you can't support yourself, don't try to support yourself. That's God's job to start with. And, we talked about a bunch of things around that, but I wanted to share a story that happened with me and a friend. We were out together, and this particular friend is going through a really tough time with some health struggles and things like that. And one of the things that they said, we were just talking about our relationship with God and how God has impacted our lives and how being part of a church family has made a difference. And he said, I don't know how someone could ever go through something difficult without God in their life and without having a relationship with God. And just off the cuff, I said, shoot, I don't know how anybody gets through a Tuesday without a relationship with God. And maybe that's a little bit of a flip comment, and I was trying to be funny maybe, but that is what stuck with him. And this is the guy that is going through the storms of life. And he's like, man, you're right. And 2 or 3 occasions after that, he's brought it up again. He said, man, you are right. I'm focused on getting through this hard time. And as I look back on my life, I don't know how I made it this far without a relationship with God to start with. And so relating that to our verse from Sunday, don't try to be your own support when you can't support yourself. And if we're honest with each other, most of the time we can't support ourselves because we don't know all of the facets of everything going on in our life. And so in thinking about that over the last couple of days since Sunday, I ran through a few verses that I just wanted to share very, very quickly. In Philippians, it says that we can do all things through Christ who strengthened us. In Psalms, it says, commit your ways to the Lord and trust in him and he will act. It says in the same book, in another place, it says, when the righteous cry out to the Lord, he hears them and delivers them. And then in Isaiah, it says that God will keep you in perfect peace when you keep your mind stayed on him. And I thought it was really interesting that all of those verses have one thing in common, and that is that for those things to work, it's reliant on us. Because, it's about relying on Christ who strengthens me. It's about me being committed to the Lord. It's about me and my right standing or righteousness with God. It's about keeping my mind stayed on God. And what is so revealing about God and his ways in those verses is that it's not God that changes, it's me that changes. And when I move toward God, he moves toward me. And I had another conversation early this morning with a friend, and he asked me a question that I couldn't answer. He said, why is it so hard for people to commit to go to church? Well, as a pastor, that's the $1 million question. I wish I knew the answer to it. But what I said was, I don't know, but it's worth it if you do. Because I don't know anyone who has a genuine relationship with God through Christ that regrets it. And I don't know, for me, I think that's food for thought. So I'm giving that to you to think about. So until next time, keep your fire burning, keep your cigar lit, and don't forget to send us your burning questions.